Righto, I just want to do a little bit of a showdown of what to avoid when buying a tent. First of all, avoid a tent like this one that is just got one door at the head or the feet, whatever you want to call it. It makes it really awkward to get in and out of, and particularly like this one's a two-man one. I wouldn't want to put two people in here, but if you did, you got to climb over each other to get in and out, which is really annoying. It's just uncomfortable. The vestibule, and you've only got one vestibule, and the vestibule is this area in here, so it's covered but it's not in the tent. That would be where you could put boots and a pack or whatever, but the ones with the two doors, you've got two vestibules. The other thing that I would avoid with purchasing tents is, you can see this one here, it just has this single pole across the top, and then that pole branches out each end like a Y. But because of that, it actually means that this kind of hole, this area here, is where you could possibly sit up, but it's really narrow in here. You don't get much headspace. Most of the tents that I use and like actually have a pole across here of some description, so that actually holds it out. At the moment with this tent, you're basically sitting up in there and it's like that, as opposed to like that. So that's really annoying. Just get you to come around this side. The other thing too with this one is you need to peg out the sides, and here we are in the daytime, and it's fine, it looks fine. But once it gets cold and you get a little bit of condensation on the inside, this sticks to the inner mesh, which means that because there's contact from the inner mesh to the outer, it means that the inside gets wet. So the inside of the mesh gets wet. So if you rub your sleeping bag against it or whatever, and this basically sucks in the cold, and it is not ideal either. The one final thing I will say is I chose to bring this tent because A, it was cheap, and B, it was a perfect size, but I would not use it again because of that. But in saying that, I've only brought it up into alpine conditions, so there's always going to be a lot of condensation from that. The final thing is too, is there's no venting here, so there's no option to open this up at the top, or you could possibly leave this open at the top, but it's not enough to avoid condensation. So this is not what to buy. Alright, that was Reto.